Day 61, in a nutshell. We are not permitted to believe Loshon Hara even when said as a casual remark, off the cuff. Shimi is one of the funniest people I know. Have you ever seen him on Purim? Last year, he came to the Purim suit dressed as a candy machine, and the whole night chocolate bars were falling out of his shirt. You know, before every Yontif, he goes to cheer up elderly nursing home residents, and boy does he cheer them up. I've seen some of them with tears of laughter running down their cheeks. And he's very imaginative. Once, in the middle of the year, he came to the office building where his father works dressed up in a suit and tie, walked up to the security guard, an old man who's been at the job for at least 40 years, opened his wallet and flashed a fake badge. "I'm from the FBI," he said, "and we're investigating some strange happenings in the building. You may be taken in for questioning." The poor fellow was scared out of his wits. While the speaker may think Shimi's antics with the security guard were funny, they were not. To frighten and trick the security guard involves a number of sins, most seriously being Chilul Hashem. The speaker is definitely guilty of Loshon Hara. The question is, may the listener believe what he said? The question revolves around something that the Gemara calls Misiach Lefitumo, a casual remark. In certain rare situations, we would not accept a person's testimony in Bezdin, but we would rely on a casual remark this person made. The reason is simple. Even if the person is not trustworthy enough that his testimony can be relied upon, we might be able to rely on something he said casually when he was intended to testify. Example, if Mr. X is not considered a trustworthy person, we would rely on his statement, "I know for a fact that Mr. Z has died." However, if Mr. X is seen exclaiming, "Woe is me that Mr. Z should be taken at the prime of his life and in front of my eyes, how terrible," we might rely on it and declare that Mr. Z is no longer among the living. Now, let us apply this law to the laws of Loshon Hara. If someone would say, "I saw Shimi play a practical joke on the security guard at his father's workplace," we would not be allowed to believe it. However, if our illustration, the information about Shimi was said in a casual conversation in which the speaker intended to praise Shimi, are we permitted to believe this? No. Says the Chofetz Chaim, the sin of believing Loshon Hara is explicitly stated in the Torah, and therefore the leniency of Mesiach Lefitumo, a casual remark, would not apply. Instead, we should tell ourselves that when whatever was said about Shimi and the security guard was either patently false or grossly exaggerated, our esteem for him should be the same as it was before we heard this report. Again, in a nutshell, we are not permitted to believe Loshon Hara even when said as a casual remark. Have a very good Shabbos.